So chances are you clicked on this video because you need to get $100,000 worth of emergency business funding by tomorrow. So if you're in that position, it sucks. It's probably because you have maybe an opportunity that came up and you really need the money, and you know that if you were to get that $100,000 and you had it in your hands right now, you know that you could flip that money and grow your business and do greater and greater and greater things, right? Or maybe you have a staffing issue and you have payroll due and you just need that money plus some working capital, maybe some equipment, inventory, whatever it may be. I'm here to help you. Now, biggest thing is that, if you need to get $100,000 by tomorrow for your business, this is not going to work if you are a startup. If you're a startup and you're pre-revenue, then you're not going to get the $100,000 for your business that way. The only options you really have is doing a personal loan, credit cards, like credit card stacking, or maybe just applying for different credit cards to try to get the highest limits possible. Or if you own a home, you could do a home equity loan, and those are actually typically pretty cheap, and it isn't actually super long to actually get those either. Sometimes it takes about 2-3 weeks. Or you could just bootstrap it and just grow your business and see kind of what you could do. And if you are in that position that you really need that money, I'd say bootstrapping is definitely an easy way to do it when you're not making any money. So if you need $100,000 by tomorrow for your business, the way to do that is with cash flow based lending. So that's a merchant cash advance called an MCA. Now, how that works is that we take a percentage of what you do annually, typically about 3% all the way to 15%. But to be honest with you, I've seen it more closer to that 7 to 8% range on the high side. I haven't really seen a 15 really go through. And then pretty much an alternative lender will give you that back as a loan, right? So taking this example of $100,000, your business on the higher side needs to be doing at least $3.3 million a year, right? And on the lower side, I'm going to say, just to be more realistic, closer to about $1.4 million a year, right? If your revenue is around that range, there's a good chance that you could get about $100,000 wired to your account by tomorrow in fast emergency business funding. Now, just because you have that much revenue, does that mean you could actually qualify and get the funding guaranteed? Well, no, not quite, because there's other factors that come into play as well too. And sometimes you might even get even more money than what you thought you could get, and sometimes it's a little bit less. And what kind of dictates that is a couple things, right? So credit score is a big thing as well too. I mean, it doesn't really matter as much for a cash advance. I have seen in situations where maybe you have like a 450 credit score and still qualify for a cash advance. The other one would be NSFs, right? So if you have other bills or other loans and those are constantly bouncing, let's just say like it's bouncing all the time, right? Well, that's kind of scary. Think of it as like a lender's point of view. They don't want to give money to somebody who's not currently, paying their bills on time right now, right? The other one would be collections and bankruptcy. If you currently have debts right now that are in collections that you haven't paid off just yet, I mean, number one, I'd recommend you pay those off. Or, you go in there, you be very open and honest that you have something in collections right now. So then a good team could actually go in and actually present your file in a right way so then it doesn't come up without them knowing, because that's the last thing you want, right? You want everything to be open, honest, and transparent. And chances are they'll actually help you in this situation rather than, you think that like, oh, I'm going to avoid it, I'm not going to tell them. And to be honest with you, that just pisses lenders off a little bit more because they had to go out of their way and try to find it. The other one that would affect your file would actually be an open bankruptcy. So if you have a consumer proposal or an open bankruptcy happening right now, we're going to see it. And the moment we see it, again, you want to be open and honest about these things as well too, because the last thing you want to do is hide it, because again, that's just going to piss the lender off and, they're going to feel like you're hiding something. So it's better to come in like everything on the table. This is my situation. This is where I'm at. And you have a much better chance of actually getting approved that way versus lying and hiding it or playing the ignorance card that like, oh, I didn't know, where it's like, well, it's your business. You should know, right? You should know your situation. At least do your due diligence on your own situation before you go out and ask others for help. The other one that could affect your chances of getting approved as well too is actually if your business is seasonal or if you have a ton of debt, right? So say, for example, if you're doing about, let's just say $3.3 million a year, that's roughly about $275,000 a month. If you're roughly at about $350 a year, let's just say that's about $30,000 you're doing every single month, right? Whatever it is. Now, consistency and at least progression is important to a lender, right? Say, for example, if your business, let's just say you told, let's say the broker you're working with or the lender you're working with, like, hey, my business is doing $3.3 million a year. I'm doing roughly about $275,000 a month. Here's the situation. And then they look at the bank statements and they see, okay, well, January, it was $10,000 that month. February, it was $50,000 that month. The next month after that, it was like 600,000. And then the next month after that, it was 50,000. And the next month after that, it was 400,000, right? You probably think like, okay, well, I hit 3.3. I hit the 3.3, Sahil. I hit the 3.3. Like, shouldn't I qualify for this cash advance? I'm making money. Well, here's the thing, right? That consistency dip, they might, number one, they might want to see 12 months to see like how crazy is that consistency right there, right? Because it's a little scary because it looks like on paper that you have maybe like a couple massive clients. It really depends on like that as well too. Like, do you have multiple clients or is it one client? Because say, for example, you have one client and they sometimes throughout the year come in at massive deposits. But what happens if you lose that client? Well, then in that case, the lender is well out of luck because in that case, like, how are you supposed to pay back your loan, right? So that matters as well too. Like, what type of business you have does matter. So getting the whole story is important. It's not always super black and white. So you want to be pretty consistent. Let's say you're doing like 270 in January, then it was like 250, then it was 300, then it was 400, then maybe 290, then 300, and whatever it is there, right? Whatever the scale is, it just has to kind of make sense. It's better if it's progressing upwards than downwards as well too. Like having a low dip month, the month that you're applying kind of sucks as well. Again, not a deal killer, but it will affect where you are in that range between like, say, 3% to like 7-8% of what you do annually back as a loan. Now, say for example, after this, you're like, okay, yeah, I definitely do qualify. I need to get this done. Where do I go, right? Well, I mean, you could go on Google and search up like fast business loans in whatever area that you're in and find whoever could kind of help you there. Or you click the link in our bio and go to outcome99.com and go to our website and talk to someone from our team. And we can pretty much get you an offer like same day, right? So here's the thing to know as well too, is that it kind of works like banks, right? Alternative lenders work between Monday to Friday, right? Eastern hours typically. So in that case, if you need to get the money as soon as possible, I would submit all your documents as soon as possible as well too. So what documents are you going to need, right? Now, this is where people are actually very surprised because they think, okay, well, a loan, that sounds super scary. Like, I'm going to need all these documents. And to be honest with you, you really don't. All you really need is 6 months of bank statements and a short, very basic business application, like your full incorporation name or your full legal name, of the business there. When did you guys actually start? How much revenue you guys do? What's your credit score? Information about you, your date of birth, all stuff that you could answer literally in 60 seconds. We actually have a form and you could ask us to send it over to you when you go to outcome99.com and we could actually show you the form and show you exactly what the questions are so you could be prepared. Now, once you submit all those things over, how fast is it for you to get an offer? Well, I've seen in situations where we get all the information first thing in the morning at like 9 a.m. Eastern, and in a few hours, we actually came back with an offer and closed same day, right? And got the wire done the next day, right? So typically what to expect is the following sort of scenario, right? So you submit all the information, right, to the direct lender or the broker. Now, depending on if you choose to work with a direct lender or a broker, it really depends. But what I would say is that I would always recommend working with a broker rather than a direct lender, because a direct lender is just going to give you like their best option. And I've seen really, like, depending on where you're at, there's not that many merchant cash advance lenders in the space. So what does that mean? Typically, everybody's coming in at different ranges. I find it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like different, right? You would think that, oh, this person's going to give more money. They gave more money in the past, but not really. It really depends, like month over month, right? So well, say, for example, working with this one lender and they tell you, well, given your situation, it's impossible. The most we could give you is $75,000. We cannot give you more than $75,000. But then, little did you know, there was another lender that was actually willing to give you $115,000, right? But it's just you didn't know them. So when you work with a brokerage, kind of like Outcome 99, we have direct relationships with all of the MCA direct alternative lenders that you could think of, where pretty much before even applying to them, we know where they're going to come in at. And we'll have brief little conversations beforehand, just do like a quick little phone call and kind of figure out right away what range will typically be at. And what's great about that is that number one, it saves you time. And number two, it avoids you getting rejected a ton, because you don't necessarily want to get rejected by a ton of these firms because, well, lenders are very smart. We actually have a team and a lot of technology behind us where we're able to see right away, okay, well, has this person had a bankruptcy before? Did this person get declined from somebody else? We're able to see like all of this stuff here, right? See your entire history because it's all there, right? Now, say, for example, let's just say you're lending money and you find out that this person that you're thinking about giving money to was declined by this place, this place, this place, this place, this place. Well, what do you think in your head? You're thinking, well, why should I give this person money, right? That's a scary thing. So in that case, you want to make sure that you're doing it strategically. So again, if you're thinking about how can I do it, or you just want to like, hand it off to a team that can do it for you, just go to outcome99.com and we'll help you out there. So let's just say, for example, you gave everything to your team at Outcome, let's say, for example, and from there, what happens is we'll get you an offer, let's say same day or the next day. If you don't get an offer within the same day or the next day, chances are either it got declined or maybe you got to go find another different place. But usually it's pretty fast. If you don't know in the first 48 hours or it got declined from everywhere in the first 48 hours, chances are you might not be able to get it from other places as well too. Then from there, simply put, I mean, if you're working with a team like us, we actually never typically accept the first offer. We'll bargain and negotiate back and forth initially with you and actually show you like, hey, here's the offer we have. Here's the rate and the term for this deal right over here. This is how we're going to fight it. This is what we're going to say. Boom, 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 boom. We get all that done. Once we accept the offer, what happens from there is that they're going to ask for your void check and driver's license, send over the contract, you sign it over. And if everything's all good, then what they're going to do is plan a merchant call. And what a merchant call is just a short little video call. So they see you, just a quick little introduction that, hey, we're going to send this over at this time, this date. They just kind of want to see you face to face because obviously they're sending you money, right? And then after that, the wire typically happens that day, sometimes maybe the next hour or 24 hours after that. So if you're in a situation and you need to get $100,000 by tomorrow, then simply put, just go to outcome99.com, talk to our team, and we'll get you an offer in the same day. Talk to you soon.